Those bills introduced are set down for first reading. The House now comes to questions for oral answer, and the first question stands in the name of David Bennett.
Mr. Speaker, my question is to the Minister of Finance. What reports has he received on the government's financial position?
The Honourable Bill English.
Mr. Speaker, the Treasury today issued the government's financial statements for the 7 months ended 31 January. They show core Crown tax revenue was $946 million below the pre-election update. Total revenue was $1.4 billion lower, offset by lower core Crown expenses of $1.2 billion. This has led to the operating balance before gains and losses being about $470 million below forecast. These numbers include recognising the expenses of the severe earthquake in Christchurch on the 23rd of December.
David Bennett.
Supplementary question to the Minister. What implications do the monthly accounts have for the government's commitment to get its finances back in shape and return to budget surplus in 2014-15?
The Honourable Bill English.
Mr. Speaker, generally monthly accounts don't make much difference because the numbers fluctuate, often over timing issues. However, the lower tax revenue in the last monthly accounts is consistent with collecting probably less tax in this financial year than was expected in the pre-election update. This reinforces the need for the government to stay disciplined with its spending, to stick to its plan to get back to surplus by 2014-15, so we can start dealing with debt which has risen from net debt at the end of 2008 of about $8 billion to a peak in 3 years' time around $70 billion.
David Bennett.
Supplementary question to the Minister. Why is it important to get back into surplus and start repaying debt?
The Honourable Bill English.
Well, Mr. Speaker, the government's just got to follow the same processes as many households and businesses and other organisations. Through the tougher times, we've been running up debt. As the economy picks up and our outlook improves, we need to tighten up to save more, as New Zealand households are, and to start repaying that debt. And as we've been saying for some time, that is going to be quite a challenge over the next few years, particularly to keep delivering good public services and improving them at the same time as spending the same or less money.
David Bennett.
Supplementary question to the Minister. What steps has the government taken to responsibly manage its finances and reduce the build-up in debt?
The Honourable Bill English.
Well, Mr. Speaker, we've set aside the Canterbury Earthquake Recovery Fund of $5.5 billion to make sure that there is strong commitment to the rebuilding of Christchurch, but that there isn't a blank cheque from the taxpayer for that rebuild. We've also, over the last 3 years, reprioritised about $9 billion of low priority spending to more important, more effective services, and we have prepared the public service to change the way that they deliver service over the next few years. We've also committed to selling minority stakes in some SOEs, which will raise between $5 to $7 billion over the next 3 or 5 years, which will avoid the need to go to overseas lenders and borrow even more money than we already are.
The Honourable David Parker.
Is the Minister more proud of the worsening government deficit, which at $12 billion for the year is worse than was predicted in the pre-fu, or the widening current account deficit, which leads to more overseas debt and more asset sales to foreigners?
The Honourable Bill English.
Mr. Speaker, I'm proud of the way that the John Key-led government has found its way through some very difficult circumstances. We did not overreact. We have not overreacted to the sharp recession. We've maintained public services and support for New Zealand's most vulnerable, but at the same time we put in place the plans to get on top of our fast rising debt. As I said before, net debt in 2008 was about $8 billion. It's currently around $50 billion and will rise by a further $20 billion over the next 3 or 4 years. That is fast enough.
The Honourable David Parker.
Which is the worst testament of his government's management of the economy? The increase in the government deficit to $12 billion, or the widening current account deficit, which leads to more overseas debt and more asset sales to foreigners every year?
The Honourable Bill English.
Well, Mr Speaker, the worst testament would be if we'd adopted some of that member's policies on the way through, but we didn't.
Question number 2. Order. Question number 2, David.
Thank you, Mr Speaker.
Leader of the Opposition, David.